Welcome to another episode of the GSatTrack How-To series. In this video, I'm going to cover with you the behavior of your devices on GSatTrack, how alerts are triggered, and how you can use behavioral information and how your devices actually work to make informed decisions and have real expectations about the information that's going to be provided by the assets that you are tracking. So, I know this sounds rather technical, and it is. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible, and to do so, I'm going to start with a simple geofence. So here, I'm looking at a geofence around our branch offices. Now, if I were to create an alert to notify me of when somebody entered or exited this geofence, my expectation is that the alert would trigger when the asset crossed this imaginary line that I've created. There are some high-end IoT devices where they actually store that information on their hard drive. Most devices don't work that way. The way that we are informed that an asset has entered or exited a geofence is when it reports its position inside the area that we have set up. For example, if I look at this CalAmp device, I can see that it's interacting with the geofence, but that's because it reported a position within the geofence. The alert, if I were to set one up to let me know when it entered it, did not take place here. It took place here when it reported its first position inside the geofence. Conversely, if I want to understand when a device has exited a geofence, that alert normally does not take place when it crosses this line and exits the geofence. It occurs when the device reports a position outside of the geofence. So there is a slight delay in the information being provided. That delay is determined by the reporting rate of the actual asset. So if this CalAmp device is reporting every 5 minutes, there's a strong chance it's going to be very quick to report that it's entered this geofence and that we need to react accordingly. But if I had an asset that was only reporting once an hour, it is entirely possible that it can cross into this geofence and then back out without ever triggering an alert. That's important to think about when we're setting up our device's reporting times. Another alert where this makes sense is the stationary dwell. Now, a stationary dwell alert is meant to let us know when a device has been sitting in the same location over multiple reports. So if we have a device that doesn't report unless it's moving or has a longer reporting rate while stationary, that means that the stationary dwell may not come in at the time frame that we think it will. So I'll show you what I mean. If I set the dwell time to, let's say, every 30 minutes, and if this device is sitting in the same place longer than 30 minutes, I want to be notified, the system doesn't know that it's been in the same place for an extended period of time simply because one position is coming. It has to have two positions in the same time frame to notify us that it's been sitting longer than 30 minutes. So I'll break it down one step further. If I have a device that's reporting even when stationary every 5 minutes, when it happened to have enough reports to extend past that 30-minute threshold in the same location, it would alert us of a notification that it has been stationary too long. However, if I were to go ahead and have a device that reports once an hour, but I set the dwell time for 30 minutes, it's not going to inform me that the 30-minute threshold has been reached until its next position an hour after the first, which makes this stationary dwell alert not nearly as useful as it should be, but that's not defined by the system. The system will notify you when the event takes place, but it has to get that information from the devices. So we're able to make informed choices about how our devices should work and what the information looks like when it comes across. So if you happen to see a delay, chances are it's not coming from GSatTrack. Chances are it's coming because the device is reporting normally for the way that we've set it up to do so using the parameters of the device. So if you want a device that reports its speed and you want alerts around that, you want to make sure that that device records its information from the odometer in the vehicle and that it has a fast reporting rate. If you want to know about a device entering and exiting a fence and you've got some leeway on time, maybe you don't need every 5 minutes. Maybe you can extend it out. But if you do need to know an immediate situation, you want to make sure that your reporting rate is faster during those times. Some devices you're able to set this up prior, where you can say a stationary position is at one speed and that a movement speed is at another. But in either case, it's best to talk through and understand your solution, build it accordingly, and understand the behaviors that are being presented to you are defined by the devices that you're monitoring with GSatTrack. I hope this is informative and that it wasn't too technical, and it allows you to understand what your devices are doing and how they're reporting their information. I look forward to our next video, and I can't wait to discuss more about GSatTrack in the future. Thank you very much.